Hey guys, welcome to a new video. And this time we're in the garage again. And well, let's first make some more light. So I made some adjustments to that. Here's my phone. I need to fix my camera here. So let's raise these up a little bit to get some more light in here. Because I knew I was going to film in here more, so I made some light bars here on the side, and then also some light bars in the ceiling. And this is all running off of a prototype. Let's see if I can show you. I guess you can see, I can't. A prototype QuinLED analog control. This prototype has actually been running for about 63 days now, I believe. And that's to test the Ethernet interface and, you know, if it works dimming up and down a lot and things like that. But so far it's been rock solid, so that's awesome. So this is currently doing 20 kilohertz PWM, so it's fine to do filming with. Because what we're going to look at today is, well, the Quinergy project has been slightly on hold because other projects have had priority, basically, but work has progressed, and I just didn't do it on camera. So if you look at my battery shelf over here, you see that it's a little bit less organized than it was before, and there's all kinds of tools here, and my boxes with components and things like that. That is because I built one. So this is one of the custom battery boxes that I had designed, and well, this is the first one I've built, and I was like, okay, let's build the first one without the camera and then make it a series where I basically go over all the steps of building it together. And as you can see, it has a nice little screen here from the ZKBMS. Maybe I should block the glare there. From the ZKBMS, and yeah, it's a little touchscreen. You can see all the cell voltages and the alarms. There's currently no alarms. And we have a delta voltage of 0.00, oh, it just jumped to 2 volts. So that's actually very low. Over here we have some expansion ports. Those are currently not hooked up, and I need to find a better way of attaching these to the case, because, well, that's not great. But what is working great is the MCCB breaker that's in there, and stand up for this one. So you can turn it on like that, or turn it off. It's really heavy. Other things that are working are my Anderson plugs here. So if I take the cable we made during one of the live streams, I can now, let's line that up there, plug it in. Snug fit, but it fits. And well, that's how the cables are connected. Currently there's just one in there because I don't really intend to use the other one. That's just kind of the standard design template they had, so that's been left in there. But let's take a look inside. It's kind of janky still because this is the first one, and they'll probably get better with each iteration that I build, but at least it's been built and it's working. So here you can see the 16 cells, and they're all labeled as I mentioned before. We had these labels on the sides of the batteries, or the battery cells. And what I did then is take the Excel sheet I showed in a previous video where we tested all the cells. I grouped them and basically decided which would go into a single battery. So I grouped them in batteries A, B, C, and D. And well, this is battery A. And then I put the labels on top of the specific cells, so I knew which one would correspond to the ones in the Excel sheet, so we can track their data, etc. And well, as you can see by the voltage variance, so far that seems to be working out quite well. But we now also have a second label on top of the battery telling me which battery is in, or which battery cell is in which position, and they're all snaked together to form a 16S pack, as you can see here. Right, so our most negative is over here. That's also where the BMS is connected. And I looked at various ways of doing this, and currently I have the two 7-gauge, each with their own lug, and then just screw down onto the battery terminal. That seemed to be the best method of having it connected, instead of it going into one lug or something like that. Don't worry, the heat shrink here is cut away, so that's all, you know, nice and tidy. And then the other side actually goes directly into the Anderson plug. Now I had to do some crimping there because I only had the 50mm square lugs, but 2x7 gauge and enough crimping force, I think I have a solid connection there. On the other side, we have the 50mm square cable, or 0 gauge again, going into the MCB breaker. I'm just using one of the two poles that are in there. Let me try and show you that. Right, and it goes through the breaker, comes out, and then goes to the most positive over here. Next to that, we have all the balance leads, and I try to do an orderly job of you know, fashioning them, but it's difficult getting them nice and tidy because, well, you can see down there it's kind of a spaghetti mess. But that was kind of the only way I was able to do it, because the leads on the JK BMS weren't longer. I wanted to maybe route them here on the side and then go like that and go like that. But that's not possible because the leads just aren't long enough. Now, I might do some cool stuff there in the future. I've been thinking of maybe, should I design a custom PCB bus bar, or should I do something else like that that has everything integrated, so then you don't actually need, oh wait, no, go down, these balance leads anymore, or even these bus bars anymore. That could all be done in a PCB basically. But then again, such a PCB would probably cost like 50 or 80 bucks just to make sure there's enough copper in there, and I need to have multiple iterations to develop it, and I don't know, maybe it's a fun project I'll do at some point. But would save a lot of work, because right now you have to do a lot of zip tying and, you know, routing the cables and making sure you have the right one connected to the right terminal. But as we saw on the little screen over here, well, I do. So currently this battery is just standing here. It's not doing anything. I do already have it connected to Home Assistant, so I'll show you that a little bit here. Basically, you can import all the data from the JK BMS by making a Bluetooth connection from the JK BMS to one of the ESPs I actually have hanging here anyway. This is, of course, a janky setup again, but there's a little ESP32 over there, which has a Bluetooth connection to the JK BMS, and then it runs ESP Home with some custom code, which then imports it into Home Assistant. And by doing that, we actually have full control over the JK BMS and can read all its values, which is actually quite excellent. I'm going to enjoy graphing that and stuff like that once I have 4 battery boxes. And then it opens up even more options, as in sending maybe a global status to the Victron system in the future. As you can see here on the wall, I've already kind of mapped out where I want everything to go and what exact size it's going to be. And well, as I'm showed you before, all the stuff is actually already here. Yeah, I just haven't had time to actually build it yet. So this was just going to be a little quick update. As you can see, first battery box is up and running. I haven't done any charging, I haven't done any load test or anything like that. I'm hoping to do that soon, but there's also some vacation coming up, and as I mentioned, I've been really busy with doing some other work that basically had priority, so that's why the battery, or the Quinergy project, is slightly delayed, but it is certainly still coming. And well, this isn't the neatest battery on the internet, but I think it's functional and neat enough, and I'll be doing lots of testing on it, load testing, thermal camera testing, etc., to make sure it's okay. And then, as I mentioned, I have 3 more of these boxes And, oh, somebody wants to say hello. This is Kitty. And Kitty likes to talk a lot. Don't think you can hear him over the fan from the power supply, but yeah. Anyway, we have 3 more boxes to build. So when we do that, we'll try and make them more tidy, maybe with a different cable solution for the short BMS or the balancing cables, something like that. We'll try and figure it out. And as I mentioned, there are some design issues with this case. With the connectors, I need to figure out a way to screw them in. Probably just need the right screws, which I currently just don't have, because there are holes there as I specified. But yeah, stuff to do, stuff to do. Thanks for watching, and I really want to continue on this Quinergy project soon, but as things go, sometimes it takes a little bit longer than you want it to. Right, as I mentioned, thanks for watching, and catch you guys in the next video. Bye-bye.